Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 CSA Awards ceremony. My name is Arlesa Shephard, and I am the VP of Awards and Honors.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Leon Wiebers, and I'm the VP of Grants and Projects. We have a great slate of Grants and Projects winners this year. Please enjoy this video compilation of our Grants and Project winners.
Hello, I'm Abby Lilliford. I administered the Stella Bloom Student Research Grant. This year, the award goes to Rebecca Jumper Matheson. This is Rebecca. Congratulations, Rebecca. Could you tell us a little bit, the title, etc.?
Certainly. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, Abby, and thank you so much to the grant committee and to everyone at Costume Society of America. I really appreciate your support, and I really appreciate your support for this research. My topic is American Artisans, William and Elizabeth Phelps and Phelps Associates. This is my doctoral dissertation at the Bard Graduate Center. And the Phelpses were American sportswear and accessory designers. They worked in leather goods. And I'm very excited to share my research with everyone in Costume Society at next year's 2022 National Symposium. So thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I'm Sarah Bird, Chair of the Adele Filene Student Presenter Grant Committee, and I'm excited to introduce you to our winners this year. We have Dice Matthews, a PhD student at Cornell University, and Carlene Gabries, an undergraduate dual degree BA/BS at SUNY College Buffalo. I hope you'll join me in welcoming them to CSA for this year's symposium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carlene Gabries, and I am so thankful for this opportunity to present at the Costume Society of America's Symposium this year, and I am honored to be a recipient of the Adele Filene Student Presenter Grant. I started at Buffalo State College in the spring of 2019 in the Fashion and Textile Technology Department, concentrating in textile design, and I am also pursuing a second major in art history. For me, I am particularly drawn to the ways that modern technologies can be utilized for studying and recreating historic textiles, not only for preservation and research purposes, but also to disseminate the appreciation of the art of textiles to a wider audience. It is what I explored in the research that I will be presenting at this year, titled Reproducing History, A Doll's 1850s Calico Dress. I will be completing my degree in the fall, and my hopes are to continue on into a graduate program with my studies in historical textile research. The Costume Society of America has already provided such a wonderful avenue for exploring the enthusiasm in the field of fashion and textile research with the expertise that all the members have. And I know that in the future, the CSA will provide an immeasurable wealth of knowledge and opportunities for me to continue to grow in my career and craft. Once again, thank you for this opportunity, and I hope you have an excellent symposium.
Congratulations to Artie Sandhu for winning the 2021 Travel Research Grant from Costume Society of America. Artie, will you tell us about your project?
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine. The proposal that I put forth to CSA for this travel grant is part of a larger project. And that is to conduct field research in India to study sustainable and ethical design initiatives that are being implemented in the non-mechanized handloom and khadi sectors. And just to give a little context, over the last few years, a number of textile crafts and handloom initiatives, such as Save the Loom in Kerala, Women Weave in Madhya Pradesh, and Butiko in Himachal Pradesh, have come about that are embedded within regional handloom craft clusters and are actively working towards a number of sustainable design solutions, improving rural livelihoods, addressing social inequities, empowering women, and also improving the working conditions in this really large craft sector in India. So to give you a little bit more context on the impact or the numbers involved in Indian handloom, as many people know, the craft sector in India is one of the largest, actually the second largest provider of rural livelihoods. And within this, handloom weaving directly and indirectly employs over 4 million people. And this is spread across about 500 distinct weaving clusters. And these clusters produce 12% of the total cloth that is produced annually in India. So the goal is to study these initiatives, to examine their long-term impact, what it means for further production, for design practice, and whether some of these initiatives really have actual impact, and so on and so forth. So that's the sort of larger research project. The proposal that I submitted to CSA is sort of that initial part of this field research, the first stage. And this first stage will focus on handloom weaving in Kerala, and in particular, an organization named Save the Loom that was founded in Chendamangalam region after the 2018 floods that occurred in Kerala. Save the Loom that was initiated by Ramesh Menon, and over the years has worked to rehabilitate a number of these weavers and these clusters, but then in addition has also set up a number of design and kind of system-based initiatives to make the handloom weavers more self-sufficient and less reliant on government subsidies. So the goal is to do some on-site, to begin with some on-site research, visiting Save the Loom and the craft clusters that they support in Kerala. And in addition to that, also visit a few neighboring handloom museums and interview a number of textile and craft experts, designers about these initiatives and their impact. So in addition to the field research, some of these interviews will happen remotely. And then, of course, there'll also be a literature review focusing on the kind of long history of craft rehabilitation in India in the pre and post independence era. So overall, the goal for this research is to add to the growing discourse around decolonizing fashion and sustainable design and innovation. And I'm also hoping through this research, it's possible to propose some more indigenous models of craft innovation that are centered around cultural and social well-being, and that can be applied to both the study and practice of fashion and other fields of design. I'd like to end by extending my deep gratitude to CSA for supporting me and supporting this research. And I'm really excited to bring the outcomes, the early outcomes of this to the next conference, and then continue to publish and share the work. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Artie. This is such an exciting project and brings a dimension to CSA that's much needed and meaningful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marcy Froelich, and I teach costume design at the University of California at Irvine.
And I'm Holly Poe-Durbin, and I'm the head of design at UC Irvine.
And we are so pleased and appreciative of receiving the College and University Collections Care Grant for 2021.
This collection started in 2007 with donations from the Getty Museum and the Fit'em Museum in Los Angeles, with about 20 items. It has since grown to 300 pieces. We use this as a study collection for students and faculty to study costume history and historical construction.
And over the years, we've had a little bit of money to be able to buy some acid-free boxes and special storage pieces, but only enough to house a few precious garments, less than 5% of our collection. Otherwise, it's been in some really tawdry boxes, not acid-free. We'll show you a few at the end, but we are so excited that we are now able to buy the proper storage for our garments. So we would like to share with you some pieces in the collection that we think are so interesting. First of all, this bathing suit from the early 20th century. It's made by Cole of California, and probably a wool serge. We have to do some more research on it to see a little bit more information about it, but we found that kind of exciting. And then this piece, this bodice from the late 1800s, we think. It's the construction inside that we find so interesting and important for students to see how a boned bodice was created.
This gown, we know, was a debut gown for a society debutante, an American who did her debut in Vienna. And we are fascinated with the textile design, which very much reflects the Impressionist painters, which were very popular at this time.
These two pieces are both Art Deco. I love the one on the left because the skirt is actually a rectangle that has just been raised up and gathered.
This dress is part of a collection of about 20 pieces that came to us from a single donor. So we have a good snapshot of one woman's life. These are from the teens, and several of the pieces we suspect are half mourning.
And then just a final view of what our boxes and storage looked like and what it will become. The box on the left is an acid-free box with special tissue paper and a padded hanger, and we are going to abandon the boxes on the right forever.
Thank you, Costume Society.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Syracuse Regional Museum. My name is Elizabeth Najum, and I am the curator here. We are so thrilled to have been selected for the Costume Society of America grant. And let me go ahead and show you what our textile collection is all about. Many of our textiles come from the Mormon pioneers who settled here in the late 1800s. These two dresses, in fact, are wedding dresses from some of the original pioneer families that came here. As you can see, they are pretty worn out and need some serious TLC. This grant will help us fix these dresses as well as clean them up in order to preserve their historic integrity. We have many military uniforms on display, which have been on display since the museum opened in 2002. These desperately need a cleaning as well as some need repairs. We will be purchasing acid-free boxes to store these military uniforms and be able to put a lot of them back on rotation as soon as they are cleaned and ready for presentation. We have many old hats in our collection, most of them which haven't been cleaned or are not properly stored. These funds will also be used to take care of these hats and put them in proper boxes for storage. This is one of our only display cases for one of our wedding dresses. We hope to use the funds to purchase another display case or materials used to make the display case. As you can see, we have a lot of textiles in our collection that need a lot of help. And once again, I want to thank the Costume Society of America for making this happen for us. Thank you.
What a fantastic group of awardees that we have this year. We would like to also announce that Sydney Maresca was just awarded this year's Dependent Care Grant. Congratulations to all of our grants and project recipients. I'll now turn things over to Arlesa, the VP of Awards and Honors.
Thank you, Leon, and congratulations again to all of our grants and projects recipients. This has been a great year for awards and honors. We have some new awards, including the Mary D. Deering Guardian Award, which is being given for the first time this year, as well as the newly approved CSA Howard Vincent Kurtz Emerging Theater Artist Award, which will be available for nomination in our next awards cycle. We have a fantastic slate of awards and honor recipients this year, so please enjoy this video compilation of our awards and honors recipients.
Hi, my name is Katie Knowles, and I'm this year's recipient of the Betty Kirk Excellence in Research Award. I'm so honored to receive this award, and I'm very grateful to the Costume Society of America for supporting my research.
Hello, my name is Rachel Silverstein, and I am so honored to be the recipient of the Milia Davenport Publication Award. In a year of pandemic gloom, it was a real ray of sunshine to receive the award for my book, which was over a decade in the making, and my heartfelt thanks goes to the Costume Society of America for all their work. A fashionable century, textile artistry and commerce in the late Qing uses fashionable garments and accessories to tell a new story about women as consumers and producers in 19th century China. It shows how their engagement with fashion was transformed by the commercialization of textile handicrafts and the flourishing of popular urban culture. We see commercialization in the growth of embroidered and woven trimming ornaments, so ribbons and borders and appliqued motifs. And we see it in the way fashion popularized techniques like embroidery, allowing women new ways of expressing cultured identities. And here I want to show you just one example of such an object to give you a sense of how the orientation towards the commercial producer and the fashionable consumer impacted on 19th century dress design. So this jacket from the Royal Ontario Museum is made from a yellow and blue chrysanthemum patterned cloud brocade silk. It was a speciality of the Nanjing silk industry. But the most fashionable feature of this jacket is not in fact the silk, but rather the white satin trimmings. These are all embroidered with calligraphic inscriptions of poetry, which is interspersed with landscape motifs. And each of the poetic lines is taken from a different poem, many of them famous Song Dynasty classics. And I've shown you just one example here. So one way of considering this kind of jacket is as the counterpart of similar trends in popular prints like this one. So these depicted scenes of beautiful gentlewomen in their boudoir, surrounded by paintbrushes and scrolls and books. So signifiers of wealth and culture and literacy. It was a way of displaying educational attainment, which was often focused on the teaching of their sons. But one of the most fascinating aspects of this jacket is how the embroidered inscriptions are used not just as a vehicle for literary expression or asserting a cultured identity, but also to record the moment where the jacket was created. So we're told where the piece was created, who wrote it, and when it was written. The question I set out to answer in the book is what forms of fashion like these jackets tell us about the cultural authorities of the Qing fashion system. So I read these jackets alongside not just popular prints, but also novels and ribbon sample books and printed pattern books and embroidery shop advertisements. And in this way, I explore how different figures like the educated gentlewoman or the merchant utilized the many possibilities of fashionable dress in 19th century China. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy reading the book, and I hope very much to be able to meet in person in 2022 in Minneapolis.
Richard Martin Exhibition Awards recognize outstanding costume exhibitions presented by both small and large institutions. Award-winning exhibitions demonstrate excellence and innovation in the interpretation and presentation of costume, providing a transforming experience to both students of costume and the public. No award was given this year. Please consider nominating recent, current, and upcoming exhibits of costume created by yourself or others for the Richard Martin Exhibition Award in our next awards cycle. The CSA Costume Design Award is given annually to recognize excellence in costume design in a production for theater, film, television, or other media that involves dressing live performers, demonstrating creative, innovative, and effective approaches to costume design. Due to lack of applicants, there was no award given this year. For those of you who have recently completed, are currently working on, or know someone who is currently doing costume design for a production, please consider submitting a nomination for the CSA Costume Design Award in our next awards cycle.
Hello, I'm Ali Amadei, and I'm pleased to announce the new Howard Vincent Kurtz Emerging Theater Artist Award. This award will be given annually to a CSA student member whose academic career has entered a period of fruition in the areas of costume design or styling, costume technology, craft artisan, or research and historical studies. The award is open to all emerging artists pursuing a future in the field of costume studies. The award-winning student will be invited to present a 20-minute overview of their area of research at the National Symposium and will receive up to a $500 travel stipend and day of presentation registration to help defray travel and symposium expenses, and a 2-year membership in the Costume Society of America. To be eligible, an applicant must be an undergraduate or graduate student and must be a current CSA student member prior to the submission date, and the creative work must be completed or in process prior to submission. So now we need all of you to get the word out to your students about this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alden O'Brien, and I am chair of the committee for the Costume Society's Mary D. Deering Guardian Award, named after Mary Deering, a longtime CSA member who has shared her extensive collection of historic clothing with both institutions and individuals. The award honors long-term efforts in collecting, rescuing, and/or conserving costume objects. I am delighted to announce this year's winner of the Costume Society's Mary D. Deering Guardian Award are Dr. Margaret Ordonez and Martha Grimm. All who wrote to support Patty Borello and Marie Schlag's nominations spoke warmly and unanimously about Margaret and Martha's long-term dedication to the care of objects and of their teaching and mentoring of students who have gone on to become conservators, collection managers, professors, and curators themselves. During their careers, Martha and Margaret have cared for thousands of textile and costume objects at the Phoenix Art Museum and at the University of Rhode Island, and at the many institutions which the two have advised. It is customary for the nominating members to say a few words about the honorees and for the honorees to make a statement. This year, we have a video from Patty Borello, Martha's nominee, and Margaret and Martha have sent a statement of appreciation for me to read. So here's Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty Borello, and I am pleased to nominate Martha Winslow Grimm as a co-recipient along with Margaret Ordonez for the CSA's Mary Dewar Guardian Award. I will be speaking mainly about Martha's qualifications for this award, but Martha and Margaret are great collaborators, and their stories are intertwined. I have known Martha for 13 years. I first met Martha in 2008 at the CSA's Angels Project at Jefferson's Barracks U.S. Army National Guard Museum in New Orleans, where I learned how to care and preserve uniforms that were underwater from Hurricane Katrina. I had no experience with textile conservation, museum storage, or display. Martha was warm and welcoming, and she shared her vast knowledge of textiles with the volunteers and museum staff. She inspired me to study textile conservation, and I have participated in the Angels Project every year since. I have worked with Martha as a committee member for the Angels Project for 10 years. One of Martha's supporters wrote, Martha's 30-year career as a textile conservator, plus her directory of hand stitches used in textile conservation alone would qualify her as a recipient for the award. The painstaking work of a conservator is the ultimate example of a guardian of textiles. I believe that it is the Angels Project that Martha and Margaret Ordonez initiated in conjunction with the annual CSA Symposium has put Martha in a special category. The CSA's Angels Project is the main theme for the support letters. Many of the supporters highlighted their experiences as untrained volunteers. Martha's ability to teach, encourage, and lead by example inspired many to become involved in textile conservation. One supporter wrote, my first Angels Project was in 2010 in Kansas City, Missouri. It was a very long day, but I never looked back. I have done it every year since. Martha is very patient and a great teacher. Every Angels project is different and requires Martha and Margaret to identify the museum's needs, work with untrained volunteers, identify material required for the day, and setting up workspace for the volunteers. Martha also coordinated the volunteers before I took over that job. Martha and Margaret always find hidden gems in the museums that we are working with, and they make a point of showing the volunteers the exact objects that are unique to the institution that the Angels are working with. A supporter wrote, "In the years in which I have worked on the project, I have watched collections being photographed, documented, vacuumed, and stored in acid-free boxes. Some years, items are prepared for exhibition, or a few items may be repaired." Faye Schneider, chairman of the Lincoln County Historical Association Collection Committee in Portland, made the following statement about Martha and the Angels. "They did more in one day than our committee could do in an entire summer." Another supporter wrote, "But more important is the impact of the day's work on the staff and the volunteers of the selected museums. Many of them take part and learn important skills. They are always included in every step, from the time the institution is selected until the vacuums and other supplies are packed up and goodbyes are exchanged. The enduring impact is that they see their collection in a new light and as worthy of care. Even though the Angels leave, the care of the textiles does not end." Another sponsor wrote, "Martha's organizational skills, remarkable knowledge of conservation, and being a wonderful educator makes the Angels Project a great success every year. Martha is a caring and effective educator and encourages the CSA members to excel and expand their knowledge of textile conservation through workshops that she organized. Martha is very encouraging to the volunteers that participate in the Angels Project. 4 of my students that worked with her pursued careers in textile conservation. Martha is a textile conservator in private practice. She has worked with many museums. A supporter from the Phoenix Art Museum wrote, "Martha has been a steady steward of the Phoenix Art Museum's exceptional fashion collection and prioritized the care of that collection among her freelance schedule. With her involvement, the collection has undergone 2 storage changes, and her input and advice was integral, valuable, and always generously given." Martha was also an initiator and important contributor to the National Humanities Grant that the museum has achieved to analyze storage. Through this work, she has not only been key to the care and preservation of this collection, but to making unique works available for study and display through her conservation effort. Additionally, she is a constant educator and generous mentor to all that have the opportunity to work with her. Textile conservators preserve individual examples of textiles for the future. Martha and Margaret, through the Angels Project, make hundreds of people guardians of textiles. Martha Winslow Grimm and Margaret O'Donius are obvious choices for the CSA's Mary Dewar Guardian Award.
And here is a statement from Margaret and Martha. "Martha and Margaret appreciate this recognition. We enjoy our collaboration and love working with Marie, Patty, and Terry, who Martha calls the Archangels. Our joint effort to make the Angels Project successful has given us the opportunity to document and improve the condition of around 5,000 objects. But this recognition is especially for all those who have served as Angels during the 14 years of the project. They donated their skills, time, and knowledge to photograph, vacuum, document, and rehouse all kinds of objects. We recognize and thank them all, many of whom have volunteered multiple years. We also thank Marie and Patty and the Mary D. Deering Guardian Award Committee for this honor. With the help of our Archangels and volunteer angels, we will continue to working to fulfill Mary's legacy." Thank you.
It is my honor to present this year's Costume Society of America President's Award to Graham Whitsparker. Graham joined Costume Society of America's Board of Directors in 2018, and he has consistently stepped up to help on major initiatives for our organization. He conducted research for and produced the first draft of Costume Society of America's Diversity, Equity, Accessibility, and Inclusion Statement that was recently adopted by the Board of Directors. Last summer, after our annual meeting and symposium was canceled due to the pandemic, Graham led the charge to provide regular online content for our members and the general public. By developing, promoting, and managing the Conversations on Dress webinar series, Graham has empowered Costume Society of America to keep our members engaged and to reach out to a wider audience, thus staying relevant during these challenging times. It is my privilege and honor to present the Costume Society of America President's Award this year to Graham Whitsparker. Congratulations. It is my pleasure to award this year's President's Award to another CSA member. Dr. Ann Bierman-Wass has been a member of CSA since 1986. While Ann has served in many leadership positions in CSA over the last 35 years, it is for her role this year as our parliamentarian that I wish to thank and honor her. In a perplexing year fraught with change, confusion, and even sometimes bewilderment, Anne has been a consistent and calming voice of reason and order. With grace, kindness, and patience, free of frustration or emotion, Anne's recommendations and counsel and her command of meeting and formal communication procedure have provided wise and thoughtful counsel this year to me, our past president, our president-elect, our executive director, as well as to the executive committee and the board of directors. With sincere gratitude for an often unsung job that has been extremely well done, thank you, Anne.
My name is Jennifer Farley Gordon. As chair of the selection committee for the Costume Society of America Fellow Award, I have the privilege of reviewing nominations for the highest honor bestowed by CSA. The Fellow Award recognizes the dedication, commitment, leadership, and outstanding contributions of our members to CSA and the costume field. This year, the committee has recognized 2 extraordinary fellows for the class of 2021. To present the first award, I would like to welcome nominator Sarah Marchetti.
Thank you. It is my honor to present Dr. Patricia Hunthurst as CSA Fellow Class of 2021. Dr. Hunthurst has had an indelible impact on the field of historic costume, particularly in the area of African and African American dress practices, and in her dedication to education and mentoring of scholars in the field. Dr. Hunthurst's legacy is cemented in the area of education. She achieved full professor at the University of Georgia, served as department chair for 10 years, and most recently served as associate dean for the College of Family and Consumer Sciences. Dr. Hunthurst oversaw and acted as curator for the Historic Costume Collection. Letter writer Colleen Callahan noted, in overseeing the collection for 17 years, Patty was able to safeguard it so that it would be preserved for the future. Dr. Hunthurst is a mentor extraordinaire. She truly gets to know students, their perspectives, their capabilities, even their families, and provides opportunities for these students to achieve their career goals. Letter writer Charity Armstead wrote, "She went above and beyond what is expected of a major professor, and she has been one of the most significant forces in shaping my career." Students have gained life and world experiences in her study tours to New York, China, England, and of course to Ghana, West Africa. Letter writer Dr. Yolanda Sanders wrote, "Her scholarly work, diversified without tokenism or cultural appropriation, the research conducted by members of CSA and other professional organizations." A Costume Society of America member since the 1980s, Dr. Hunthurst has given her time and talents in so many ways to our discipline as Vice President and Treasurer of the Southern Region, as co-lead of a conference, our annual conference in 2012, and of course, most recently as Secretary for the National Board of Directors. Dr. Hunthurst's name is synonymous in our field with the thoughtful study of African American dress and generous leadership and mentoring. For me personally, and for so many others, she is the reason we are in this tremendous discipline and the Costume Society of America. It is my honor to turn it over to Dr. Patricia Hunthurst.
Oh, wow, Sarah, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to receive this award and be in the class of the other fellows. It's really something I never dreamt of, really, but I am so happy to have this award. I was thinking back the other day, and I think I've been in the history of dress and fashion for over 42 years. And first, I started out in a theater costume shop, just volunteering at night to help with building costumes for a small theater, small college theater where I worked. Went for my master's degree and then did a museum internship. So I feel like I had a taste of everything, a little bit of everything, and then kind of found my home in academia. So I think through, all of those aspects of my career, what has been most important is the mentorship of students. Certainly, like Sarah, like Clarissa, like Charity, and I remember the times that they all motivated me to think differently about something or to approach a topic in a different way. And that always highlighted my days. I said for most of the time I was at UGA, I've said, I never dreaded coming to work. I always was looking forward to what each day held, no matter what I was doing. I think my first CSA meeting was a regional meeting in 1985 in New Orleans. It was January, it was cold, but I just was so excited about the people who were presenting and just, found a home, a very important home for me in the organization. And I look forward as secretary at the national level and any other volunteer things I do to helping CSA move forward. I thank you again for this honor. I feel very blessed to have found my passion and to keep doing it. I've come full circle now. I'm back in the UGA Historic Clothing and Textiles Collection as a volunteer. I come in every week. I pretty much do whatever Monica Sklar wants me to do. So I am so happy to be a part of this organization. I feel so very honored for this award. Thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations, Dr. Hunthurst. To present our next award, please welcome nominator Deborah Brothers.
Hello. It is my honor to introduce you to CSA fellow Gail Strage. I met Gail in the 1980s in the costume shop at the Opera Theater St. Louis, right before she moved to Western Massachusetts to work in theater as a cutter, draper, and educator. Gail has a long career spanning multiple areas of working with costumes, clothing, fashion, and dress. Her background includes fashion design from Mount Mary College in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and museum studies in historic costume and textile with curatorial and conservation specializations from the Fashion Institute of Technology. Gail is the curator of historic costume and textile collection at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, since 1996. She's curated over 30 exhibitions at OSU. Her most recent exhibition was Campus Fashion, 150 Years of College Style. A selection of the range of exhibitions and catalogs include American Fashion Ready to Wear in the exhibition Fashion American Style 1900 to 1999, the Columbus Fashion Story, Characters in Fashion in the exhibition Dressing the Part on and Off Stage, and Skazy, The Joy of Dressing Up. Gail has published in a range of journals, including CSA's Dress. She's a frequent presenter at the Costume Society of America National Symposia, and she also regularly presents at CSA's Midwestern Regional Symposia. In addition, she's presented papers at the Popular Culture Association, national meetings, and at the Business History, European Business History Joint Conference in Milan, Italy. Gail has been a leader for CSA both regionally and nationally. Most recently, Gail has served as president-elect, president, and past president of the Costume Society of America for the last 6 years. She has served on CSA's national board and also as a member of CSA's Midwestern Regional Board for over 15 years, including stints as regional president and vice president. In Cleveland, Ohio, Gail was the co-chair of the CSA's 42nd National Symposium and Annual Meeting. Gail has always been willing to help where she's needed for CSA. She continues to contribute, and she is currently involved with a number of special projects. One is on a committee that is working on CSA's upcoming 50th year anniversary. Gail's letters of support come from a wide range of CSA members who praise Gail's commitment to the Costume Society of America, the openness of her sharing resources and expertise on costume, fashion, clothing, and dress, her willingness to step in where there is a need, and to her sense of humor. It was in the 1980s that Gail suggested we both become members of Costume Society of America. She felt that the papers, the museums, and the exhibitions at the National Symposia would be a wonderful way to travel, to learn, and to eventually participate. And so, as many other members of CSA have maintained over the years, it was and is a way to explore, to visit collections, to hear informative papers, and to connect with other like-minded CSA members. This adventure with CSA has turned into so much more. Gail has dedicated her energies and strengths to the Costume Society of America. She has been a strong leader, supporter, researcher, educator, and advocate for all aspects of costume, clothing, fashion, and dress. I present you Gail Strege, Fellow, Class of 2021. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah. That was a great tribute. And oh my God, crazy pictures. Brings back a lot of memories. And I am so honored to receive this fellow award from CSA. It's been a long trip ever since you and I went to the regional conference back in Maine at Sabbath Day Lake, when Claudia Kidwell was presenting there. So, and from there, we decided it was such a great organization that we would go ahead and attend the national meeting in Richmond. And like so many CSA members, Costume Society was my home. It was where I found my people. And it was an organization that has fed my soul. And I certainly felt a need to give back when I finally got to a point in my career that I could do that. And having been starting out in theater and then working in museums and ultimately ending up in academia, I kind of felt like I could respond to a lot of our members who have been in those areas in Costume Society. It's been a great trip. I really appreciate everything I've gotten from CSA, and I love the Midwestern region. I've been a member here twice. I think I started out here in the early 80s, went out east for a while, and then kind of came back to Ohio. So thank you so much for this award. I really appreciate it from CSA and from all the nominators. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gail, and congratulations to our new CSA Fellows, Class of 2021.
What an exciting group of awards and honors recipients this year. So congratulations to all of our awards and honors recipients.
We want to thank everyone for joining us this evening to recognize this year's grants, projects, awards, and honors recipients. Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And we look forward to seeing all of you at the symposium next week. Thank you so much.